Hey, it's Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man, and today we'll go over some kits I offer, plus a brand new kit I'm going to be offering, and of course it's all to save you guys money, okay? Let's start with the Maytag Neptune Stage 1 repair kit. I developed this one about back in 2008, and it was for the Maytag Neptune washer, and they had a systemic failure where the wax motor and the door latch would fail and damage the control board, okay? So if you called the Maytag guy, if you bothered Old Lonely, he would want to come over and charge you about $450. Okay, so it's a pretty expensive repair for that little part, and then a control board plus some labor. I mean, back then the control boards are probably about 250, 300. They've come down a little bit since then, but people are getting quoted 450 for that repair. And I also have a stage 2 kit, because sometimes stage 1 kit doesn't do it all. When you replace the components, you start the machine back up, and maybe the door latch wax motor still doesn't energize, or the timer acts funky. Now, those are on the machines that have the timer knob. When Maytag went to the digital, they don't use a wax motor, they use a solenoid, so you get a click click. The wax motor's quiet, you can't hear it because it slides over real slow. It takes about 45 seconds, so it's really quiet. So the digital Neptunes do not have the wax motor issue. Next we have the bearing and seal kits. Customers were saying, "Hey Jeff, my machine sounds like a jet plane," and so I put together, easily and naturally, I just put together the Maytag Neptune bearing and seal kit. Then I started renting the Tony tool for my clients, and that saves about $950 to $1,100. Okay, if you call a Maytag guy, they want to replace that outer tub, but back then, 2010 or so, that tub was about $250. Okay, if you look up that big outer tub now, it's like $750 because it's out of production. So Maytag doesn't get the economy of scale because they're not buying thousands of these tubs anymore. They might be buying 100 a month or something. So it really drives the price up when you don't have the economy of scale. So naturally, Whirlpool duets. I started getting people calling me, "Hey, I got a Whirlpool duet. Do you have a bearing kit for it?" So I worked with them to put together kits. They'd give me the sizes and the numbers off the bearings and the dimensions, and I would put together the kits. And these save about $450 because what you have to do on these is there's two half shells, and then the rear half has the bearings and a seal, and you buy that. They're about $350 to buy that back tub, and then you have labor. You're gonna spend at least $200 labor, so it could be actually a little higher than $350, and plus labor. Next is Kimball Elite, same, it's about $450. It's the same setup. You got two half shells. Remember, these are all made by Whirlpool, and then same with the Maytag Epic. And now I've got Samsung bearings, I've got LG bearings I put together, I got GE bearings kits. So I've kind of added kits as I go along because people call me and say, "Hey, I've got a GE, I've got." So finally we came out with the F35 air kit. This is where you get the F35 on your washer. And it's because there's something going on with the water level sensing part of the system, okay? Because your washer is a system. And what they've done is, on the old days, you had a diaphragm snap switch, and you might have two of them in there. Two, like one could be the wash and one could be the rinse level switches. Okay, so the machine has to know when you hit those levels. Okay, because you don't want to overfill and flood your house. So what they done was they added an analog pressure sensor, because before you had two snaps, that was it. Where's the water at here? You don't know. Okay. But what they did was, with this analog, it actually gives you a representation 0 to 5 volt of where the water level is. So they know precisely where that water level is. And they have to have that information for the new washers because they try to determine how much, how much clothes do you have in there and how heavy are they? Are they jeans? Are they sheets? Are they towels? Towels and jeans are really heavy. And so what they do is when they fill up the machine, they fill up for a certain cycle. And the APS will go from 0.38 volt to empty tub to about 0.7 on that first fill cycle. And then they can tell how much water is absorbed in the clothes. So, towels is going to absorb a lot of water. So it's not going to show up on the pressure sensor as much. So what they do is then they rotate the tub, and they must measure the current, how much power it takes to rotate that tub, and they can tell how heavy those clothes are. With those pieces of information, they can kind of gauge the cycles and how long they're going to have to wash the clothes for. The older machines, you had, high, medium, low switches. You had to manually select. Now I'm doing a low or even extra low capacity for one item, a shirt or something. So with the new machine, they do that electronically, so you don't have to set that switch, okay? How the water level switch, it's automatic, okay? So it's important that the APS is working. And now I have two F-35 kits. One actually focuses on the CCU, which is the control unit. And then the other one is the actual APS unit. So I have a kit for that one. So you can actually repair that APS instead of buy. Because the new APSs are about $100. And you can buy a repair kit and fix it. Okay, now this leads up to the F01 air kit, which just happens on the dryer, okay? And you might see the F01 come up, and I got $300 for this repair because you got a service call. Plus the control boards aren't as much on the dryers, but at least last time I checked. But so I put $300 for that repair. But you have an F01. Usually you'll get it randomly, like here. You might get it a week later. But you want to notice when you start getting it because you want to fix it because you don't want to do more damage on the board, okay, because the board heats up. So I'll show you a picture of it. And I'm thinking if you catch it early, if you guys are aware of this F01 error, that you can take care of it before it gets, worse. And what you have to do, you want to unplug your dryer first. Anytime you work on your appliance, you want to unplug it for safety. And then on the back, you'll have 3 screws. And you pop those 3 screws out. They could be Torx or hex. You pop those screws out and you can lift that. You kind of slide the lid back about 1/4 of an inch and you can lift it up. Okay, and remove it. And this board will be right up on top on the left side. It's just really easy to get to. This is an easy repair. And it's actually in this plastic mounting frame here. And you see you got 6 little like springy plastic pieces. That's what keeps the board locked in. You just got to kind of take a screwdriver, pop that board up a little bit, just kind of go in a sequence, and eventually you get the board out. And if you have this little burn mark here, that's indication that the relay failed. Okay, and you can replace it. That's what's in the F01 kit. It's this relay right here, and it actually works on these 2 quick connects right here. That's going to the 2 contacts that's in here, and I'll show you the back side of the board here shortly. But yeah, you replace this part, and that should get you back up and running. Now notice when this one failed, it got really hot and it blew away some copper, because this should have copper right there around it. See, like this one here with the nice solder fillet. So what happened was this thing got so hot it blew out and it damaged the copper. So what we're going to have to do is repair this. We're going to have to take a little screwdriver and just kind of scrape this. This is called solder mask, this green stuff, and then you can get it down to the bare copper. Okay, once you have it down to the bare copper, we can take a piece of wire, make it like a U, and a little piece of wire is in the kit. It's called repair wire. You make it like a U. Now usually you'll squeeze it right here so it's nice and tight around this post of the relay. And then you just take it and you solder it right down to this bare copper. Okay, like this right here. And then you can clip off the end here if you got excess. But you get a 3-inch piece of repair wire just in case you need it. That's why I'm thinking if you catch it early, you don't have to worry about it, because it just goes right to this connector right here. There's 2 connectors right next to the relay. So here's the 4 connections on the relay. There's 4 posts to come through. So you can repair your F01 board by replacing that relay. And if you've got the splatter on the back, that's what it is. The relay failed. Just over time, every time you start the washer, or the dryer I should say, the relay closes, which connects the power to the motor. And when motors first start up, they take an inrush. Okay, there's a lot of current. That it may take 4 or 5 times inrush current. And then so as those relays bounce, it goes, it can arc. And over time, their contacts get pitted. And whenever you have pitting on contacts, that makes resistance. Resistance resists electricity. So what happens is you run electricity through it, it gets hot. And it turns into like a resistor. So eventually the contacts get so hot, the heat transfers down to that board connection where the solder is and just goes. And if you catch it early, like after the first F01 you get, because you guys are watching this, you could be aware of, to watch for the F01. And I'll send out an email blast to all my customers, let you know that you got this coming if you have an F01 error. So with that, it's to save you about $300. The kit's right now it's like $35, I think, with shipping, priority mail shipping. So if you have any questions about the F01 or F35, the bearings, or the Stage 1 kit for the Maytag Neptune, give me a call, or you can send me an email. You can leave a comment below, and I'll see how I can answer that for you. And we'll go from there. So I know it's a long video. Thank you for your patience, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And yeah, it's to save you guys money. That's what this is for, okay? This is Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man, and you have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.